Hey everyone, Coach Austin here with another week of Yin Yoga for Recovery. I have a special guest, my dad George. He's going to be practicing along with us and may do some modifications as well. Today's focus is going to be on our lower body, in particular our legs. So let's get started. Come onto your mat and take a seat and extend your legs forward in front of you. Place your hands by your hips. Lift your hips up and back so your hips are stacked below your shoulders. Bring your feet together to touch. A slight bend in both knees. Lift your arms up to the ceiling and very gently hinge and reach for your feet. If you can't grab your feet, you can bend your knees as much as you need to. And we're going to hold this stretch for about 2 minutes or so. And there's a lot of benefits here. So for the backs of our legs, our hamstrings get a nice stretch here. Our lower back, hips get activated, glutes. And remember, in our recovery and restorative focus and intention, which is what we're doing today, we hold the poses for a longer period of time. And as we hold together, I encourage you to breathe as deep and free as you can, in and out through the nose. And after holding for a little bit, if you want to, you don't have to, but if you want to go a little bit deeper in this stretch, you have, that opportunity too. Very nice. And you'll see how the body starts to change and adapt and open as we hold. But I don't want you to force in any way. When we go to the gym and we get after our workouts hard, that's great. But when we're on our yoga mat, we're practicing a different type of energy, a softer, subtler, more receptive, kinder. Well, we're kind in the gym, but softer approach and not forcing any stretch or movement. Just working with our body. We got about 20 more seconds here. If you can lean in a little bit further, feel free to do so. Just let your head relax. Drop down towards the floor. This is such a good addition to your weekly routine. Whatever your routine looks like, adding a little yoga, a little stretching, goes a very, very long way. And to complete our first pose here, take a deep breath in through your nose, and a deep breath out through your nose. Exhale. Very nice. Slowly sit up, no rush. Take your time. Take your hands behind you. We're going to do a counter pose. Turn your fingertips either forward, or you can turn your hands out a little bit. Then bend your knees and plant your feet into your mat, into the floor. And gently press down to your hands and feet and lift your pelvis. Very good, Dad. Hips up and try to drop your head back. Gentle here. This counter pose, so our body and our spine was in a full flex position, right? Bowing over our legs. Now we're taking our body to an extended. Our spine and our hips are an extension here, which is the opposite of the other movement. And this way we bring the body to balance. And then slowly lower down, nice and controlled. And lower. So for this next one, we're going to face towards the side of your mat, if you're on your mat. Or if you're home, maybe you're on your carpet. You're just going to turn to the side. So we're going to face towards the mirrors. And take your legs wide apart. So that's it, chest towards the mirrors. Legs nice and wide apart. Toes point up towards the ceiling, knees point up towards the ceiling. And take your arms up. We're going to go in 3 different motions here. And then bow forward in towards your legs. Now, if you can't take your forearms down, you can feel free to take your hands down. If you can take your forearms down, that's great. And if that's a little bit easier for you, and you want a little bit more of a stretch, you can start to walk your arms and your hands forward a little bit more and bow in. Now, the principles that we work with in these stretches and these poses is the first one is find your edge. And your edge is the point in the stretch or the pose that you get to, and you feel it. You're like, okay, that's my edge. And maybe not to like the point where it's so intense that you have to back off, but where you feel the stretch and you know that you're working with it, and that holding it there is causing sensations in a helpful way. You feel the deep stretch. Then once you get to that point, I want you to stay there, and keyword is to relax with it. So our body is going to open and stretch and release the tension in the muscles in its own time. And that brings us to another principle in yin, which is time, and that's why we hold these poses for a little longer. And you'll start to feel your body opens up little by little, backs of your legs, which is what we're stretching now, lower back opens up. And then maybe you have even more of a room here to come forward down a little further. Yeah, and you'll see that's all of the benefits from stretching. And the body can go to further and further places every time we step into the stretch, perhaps, with a spirit of curiosity. Say, oh, okay, this is how far I can go today. And then take a deep breath in here, and a deep breath out. And now keep your legs wide as they are. Slowly walk yourself back up. So you're going to sit up. And then we're going to take the stretch to the right. So what I mean by that is we're going to take our arms up overhead. And then you're going to lean up and over to the right. See if you can maybe touch your right foot towards the right foot with your right hand. And if maybe you stay up here, if you want to relax your upper arm around your back, this would be a shoulder opener. Yeah, just like that. That's good. So now we're putting more emphasis on the right side of our body. This is also stretching our lower back, really getting into our hamstrings here. And remember, be gentle. So as we hold the pose, this one we're going to hold a little longer. You're going to feel maybe a little weaker at first, and that's totally normal. That's because we're really stretching and opening up the muscles. Remember, this is a recovery or restorative workout, so I wouldn't recommend doing something like this before a workout as a warm-up, because we're really getting the muscles and the tissues nice and loose to promote recovery and blood flow. But after a long week of training or after a workout, this is money, medicine. And very good. And then we're going to switch over to the left. So come back up. And then take your take both arms up first. So good. So we lengthen through the spine. And then stretch up and over to the left. Left hand maybe grabs the left foot. Right hand can stretch over. Or you can take a little bind here, so your upper arm, you're going to corkscrew it, wrap it around your back. Take the back of your palm to your lower back. And this one we're going to hold. This is our last side here, and then we'll come out of this stretch. Doing awesome work here, just staying with it, allowing our body, or giving our body some TLC, tender love and care. A few more counts. Try to relax as you can. And take a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. Very good. Slowly come up. And gently walk your feet back in. You should really feel that in the backs of your legs. It's going to feel maybe like you're breaking apart a little bit. That's normal. And then come and adjust towards the front edge of your mat. And come onto your hands and your knees. Then from here, you're going to take half pigeon. So walk your right knee up towards your wrist, like that. Yeah, and swing the right leg across, and then shimmy the left leg back, best you can. Very good. How's that feel? Is that good? Good. And you could either stay upright here on your hands. It's still going. And would be more of an upright version of half pigeon. Or if you want to come a little bit further into the stretch, you can take your forearms down to the mat. It's another option is to hold there. Or the last option, remember, these are all, I always say the word option because they're options. So you choose the one that works for you and your body and what feels right for you. You could go all the way down if you'd like to extended sleeping pigeon is what we call this one. And as we hold here, we're opening up the leg and the hip externally. So we're working on external rotation of the upper thigh bone or the front thigh bone in our right leg. The adduction movement. The abduction. So the abduction is moving away from the body, externally rotating. And this is also stretching our piriformis muscle, which gets a little tight, especially from doing squats or running and a lot of the movements that we do here at the Riv. Or if you sit, it gets tight a lot. So a half pigeon stretch, wonderful, wonderful stretch to do at any time. Taking care of our hips, making sure that they don't lock up and get tight. And you'll see, in addition to recovery, that having open hips and open muscles lead to improved performance and movement. And breathe in, breathe out. Excellent work. Come back up to your hands. And then your knees, your hands and knees. So you're going to adjust and shimmy here. So come onto hands and knees. And just for a counter, you're going to tuck your toes beneath your heels. And then lift your hips up and back, downward dog. So you make a V here, feet hip width distance. Hands drive into the mat. Lift your right leg up to the ceiling. Bend your upper knee. Then you're going to take your upper thigh bone up towards the ceiling and over to the left. So the leg opens up and over to the left side. So lift up and open the hips. That's it. Very good. And that's our counter pose for a pigeon. And then downward dog. 2 feet down. Come back to your hands and knees. Last side here. Half pigeon. Left leg forward. Left knee to the left wrist if you can. Left foot forward. Here. Shimmy the right leg back. Very good. Yeah, you could adjust as you need to. Sometimes I like to take my hands here, lift my chest up. Remember to breathe and soften. And then come onto the hands forward or the forearms. And you could see it's a process in the sense that maybe you start on your hands and then 20, 30, 40 seconds later you go, okay, I'm a little more open, and then you come onto your forearms. And then maybe you hold that and you're okay, now I have a little bit more room to, fully extend. And every pose is a journey in that sense. And what is first available maybe be a certain range of motion, and then we go a little further and further. So you have all of those ways of exploring and creating the pose. And just try your best to relax your body. Be aware of your breath. And as you relax the body, you may find that the mind relaxes as well, and vice versa. You relax the mind, the body will relax. If we tense up, then the mind tends to tense. If we can soften and breathe, and our mind can relax and we can relax. These are the benefits of our practice. Very good work. And to complete, take a deep breath in, full breath out, and slowly walk your hands back in, lift yourself up, come to your hands and knees again. Good. Tuck your toes beneath your heels, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back, drop your head down towards the floor. Then bring your feet together to touch, big toes touch. Lift your left leg up to the ceiling. Now bend your upper knee. Stack your upper hip on top of your lower hip. 5 counts here. Very good, Dad. Good press down as you lift your upper leg up. 3, 2, 1. And then come back to downward dog. Drop to your hands and knees. Walk your knees up towards your hands. Take a seat, cross your ankles. Ready? And then the last part, we're going to take a quick shavasana. Lay down. Oh, yeah. Nice and relaxed. Just kind of shimmy yourself here. Close your eyes for about a minute. And shavasana, this is our final pose. Feel your body, how it may feel different, relaxed, more open, as a result of you doing your practice and your work. Listen to sounds that you hear. Feel and breathe your breath. And feel your body on your mat or your couch. I mean, you're probably not on the couch, but on your floor, or if you're outdoors, the grass or a towel, wherever you are. And then slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rock your head left to right, right to left. And very slowly and gently roll onto your right side into a fetal position, a little fetal posture. So curl your knees in towards your chest, use your right arm as a pillow. Slowly press up to a seat, cross-legged, easy seat at the front of your mat. Close your eyes still. Sit up tall and proud with dignity and respect. Bring your hands together to a prayer at your heart center. And we'll close with a deep breath together. So take a deep breath in and exhale. Bring your hands to your forehead. And we close our yoga flows with the saying of Namaste. You can say it out or silently to yourself. And that's all. Thank you, Dad, for practicing along. Thank you guys for watching and following along. As always, I hope that you got something from the video, and I'm always open to feedback or other types of flows that you'd like to see. And lastly, to remind you and invite you to yoga in this room or out in the gym, depending on how many people, every Sunday at 9 a.m. with me and our awesome community. You don't need to know anything about yoga. Just have an open mind and show up, and I'll get you through the rest. So have a great rest of your day, and hopefully see you soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Oz.
You're welcome.